My name is Matt Houpert. I'm a senior offensive lineman here at Georgetown. I'm a neurobiology and classical studies double major. I think what interests me most about the brain is kind of how, in my time here at Georgetown, I've really learned that we typically think of our brain like as a computer, that it's this kind of binary, you see this, it does this, input-output type, but it's really kind of become more of this spectrum-ish type, so your brain is adaptive and responds to different things in different ways, and everyone's brain is different, and that's why each person is different, and it's really just boils down to the brain is how we know what we know about things, and I just like investigating that. The neurobiology major has a RISE program that is research intensive senior experience. It really just encourages students to get involved with all the research that goes on here at Georgetown. I'm working with fMRI images and techniques, and specifically functional connectivity. And what that is it's an indirect evaluation of your brain activity in different patterns and essentially the network connectivity that your brain has between different regions. What we're doing in our lab is to try and detect the earliest instance of this specific disease, hand. But hypothetically, this technique could be used in other practices where you could ideally, if concussion is something that alters how your brain works, then you could detect that change with this technique. And if you have a player who you think might have a concussion and you have a baseline reading, you could then put them in a non-invasive MRI, get the scan, and hopefully, if the science gets there, have like a specific readout that will tell you the player is concussed or not. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done before that is a practical use, but I definitely believe that that is something that could happen and help with treatment and identification of concussion moving forward.
One of our themes is 4 for 40, the 4 years here, setting you up for the next 40 years of your life. And Matt has done a lot on his own. The internship that he got this summer up at Georgetown Medical Center, which we're lucky is right here on campus. He did a lot of that work himself to get into a lab, to start really looking at some of the causes of CTE and how to prevent it. We're lucky here with our alumni base. Dr. Bill Dayhut is one of the directors up at NIH and has mentored Matt. And Matt's done a really good job of tapping into our network, especially in the medical field, to give him kind of his roadmap for what he wants to do after school.
I took a class last semester called Synaptic Transmission, and the professor, Kathleen McGuire-Zeiss, works up at the med school, and she emailed me an invitation that she had gotten to the Congressional Neuroscience Caucus, and I got to meet Dr. Ann McKee, who is the leading CTE researcher from Boston University. She's in the news a lot with her different findings. She was the one who published that study that said 110 out of 111 NFL players were found to have some form of it from stage 1 to stage 4. As a player, it's definitely something I feel conflicted about because I know a lot about it and it's something that I'm interested in and like to study. At the same time, I'm kind of comforted by that because I know the different signs and symptoms, and so I know what to look for in myself and in my teammates. And I remember seeing a clip on TV, Chris Carter talking about the whole CTE issue and why he still chooses to play football. And it's something that you only really understand if you've played football, all the values that it teaches you, all the different things that it gives you, the camaraderie with your teammates. And that's something that's not easily given up. So a lot of the guys choose to stick with it, even though they know the risks. And so I think moving forward, a big part could be educating about those risks and making sure that players know what they're getting themselves into, but at the same time, helping them to deal with those issues after the fact.